Hey everyone, Peter's back for another campaign diary. Hope you guys are ready. When last we left our heroes, they had just captured the port city of Daxan, a vital key in Fritzless's war machine. And so the players were feeling actually pretty good. Now, I want to take things kind of slower, kind of make things a little more of a dilemma for the players. So, what I had them do is I had Admiral Yvonne tell the players, okay, you guys are now, he's like, okay, the townsfolk aren't too happy that we took over their city. They see us as, hostile takeover. And the player's like, okay, that makes sense. That's understandable, them thinking that. So I said, okay, Admiral Yvonne asked you guys to go and talk to kind of the leader of the locals, try and ingratiate yourselves with them, because they're not exactly too happy with you guys. They're like, alright. And this was me trying to make a bit of a social dilemma for the players. Make it so they couldn't just do whatever the heck they wanted without feeling like there were no consequences. So they went and they said, alright, where we go? And these guys says, well, if you guys kind of go to, by town hall, there's a giant meeting hall. And you guys just talk to the people there, kind of see what they need, what they want. And I had them go there, and they just start talking to people. Just everybody that they could find. And the place is filled with all sorts of townsfolk, people who have lost their homes in the assault. And they just say the nastiest things to the players. Now, the players know that I don't curse, I don't swear, I don't say too much that's very mean or nasty. And I just had to come up with the most vituperative, most virulent, most nastiest, harshest things I could think of. And I was making up all sorts of swear words and stuff like that, all sorts of son of a troll, you drink the feces of a behir and stuff like that. And the players are kind of laughing a little bit. The players are laughing that I'm doing this, but they're kind of like, okay, the people don't like us. They really don't like us. And I was like, yeah, they don't. You guys came and destroyed their town. Of course they're not going to like you. I said, alright, what can we do to help? And I had a townsfolk, kind of someone who's clearly a leader. They're like, okay, who's clearly kind of in charge? And they find a guy and they're like, alright, what can we do to help? Like, we know things are kind of screwed for you guys, and we're sorry. But what can we do to help you guys? And the guy, he's like, he spits at the ground, and he spits right at their feet, and they're just like, oh. Brayden's like, can I just axe him? And everyone's like, no. He's like, I know, but I just really want to axe him. And the player's like, we know, just cool off. And they're like, alright. And they had to come up, they're like, hey, this is why. Fritzless really started this thing. And so we're just trying to, help end it. And I said, alright, roll me another persuasion check. Of course, Hazel with her +8 persuasion, just like, yeah, no problem, I got this. Rolls like a 19, so she rolls technically a 27? Yeah, a 27 on persuasion, and I'm just like, ugh. However, she's like, alright, the guy's like, alright, you guys do seem sincere, you seem like you do want to help. So he explains, there's a bunch of thieves that have been kind of, stealing everybody's pockets, picking everybody's pockets and such. They've been looting and they've been taking advantage of all the chaos that's been going on. If you guys could try and get rid of them, that would be much appreciated. And the players are all like, oh, heck yeah, we'll do that. So they're like, alright, we're going to go search around. They say, can we get any clues from this guy? And the man says, he's like, really, I can't say too much. They strike fast and they just kind of run away. So go out the streets, you're bound to find one of them eventually. And he said, alright. So they ran out to the streets. And I just said, they're like, we're just going to kind of walk around, talk to people, see what we can do. And I said, alright. And they talked to 2 or 3 people, most of whom were all kind of the same way, like, you dirty scumbags, you filth, get out of our town and stuff like that. And the players are just like, this really sucks. I then had a guy pick Sonia's pocket. Now, I knew Sonia would react to this, and I was like, perfect. I said, Sonia, roll me a perception check. She's like, okay. She rolls high. I was like, you feel something bump you, and then you see a guy walk past and then bolt running. And she's like, it's one of them, get him. And everyone's like, and they're like, oh, we're gonna all sprint after them. Sam's like, can I track him? Can I follow him using my survival skills? I said, alright, Sam, roll me survival. And he's like, sweet. I roll survival. It's like, you see him turn down an alleyway. You're like, everyone's like, down the alleyway. They go down the alleyway. You're like, you can't see him. Sam's like, okay, roll another survival check. He rolls like a 20. He rolls an unnatural 20. I said, alright, Sam, you notice some boxes that look like they've just recently been kind of spilling over. You hear footsteps going down to your left. He's like, down to the left. And they all rush down. The players are having a lot of fun actually with this. And Sam's just like, yes, I'm being helpful. And so they're like, alright, now we still can't see him. I said, Sam, roll me another survival check. He's like, he rolls again, gets like a 23 total. And I said, Sam, you hear footsteps kind of turning down a small alleyway. He's like, oh, I do it. you see a door. You turn down just in time to see a door close. It's it's like an iron bar door and stuff like that. They're like, all right. They're like, we're gonna break down the door. I said, Braden, you got this? He's like, yep. Athletics check, breaks down the door with like a 25. What do we see? I said, well, it's a doorway into a tunnel. And the first thing that happens is you guys are just overwhelmed by the stench of rot and such. And they're like, oh, gross, gross, gross. Sewers? I was like, yep. They're like, why is it always the sewers? I was like, hey, no one's going to look in the sewers, I guarantee you. No one's going to want to come down and just search out the sewers in hopes of finding a bunch of thieves. And so like, all right, we're going to come down. And I had a small, like, layer. And they're like, okay, we're going to try a couple things. We're going to try, going left, right. And I said, okay, guys, it's, someone's going to want to get out a paper and pencil. And I did this as kind of a DM. This was a little bit of, they would have had no way of kind of thinking this. But I didn't want to make it too hard on the party. So I said, all right, guys, get paper and pencil. And start drawing this map as you guys go. And Sam, who's a bit of an artist, is like, oh, heck, sure, I'll do it. So he just flips over the back of his character sheet, starts drawing. He says, okay, we came down here, we took this left, but it also went right, so goodness knows how far that goes. They kind of they work their way around. They're kind of, okay, we'll check left, we're going to go turn right. At one point, Sam's like, okay, I want to make a survival check. And I said, but he only rolls like a 6 total. I said, Sam, you can hear the sounds of his footsteps echoing off the walls, but it's undiscernible. He's like, shoot. So they did it the old-fashioned way. They literally explored the entire place. By the time they were done, almost, they actually had a pretty good map. However, along the way, they ran into a pit trap. Now, prior to this, I haven't really used traps before. I've had times where it's a bit of an ambush, but there's been no time where it's been an actual pit trap or scythe trap or any sort of poison dart trap, any sort of that stuff. I haven't tried it yet, so I was having a bit of fun trying it out now. And I said, all right, guys, roll me a dexterity check. They all roll me a check. Braden fails his, but everyone else succeeds. They're like, oh, thank goodness. The floor drops underneath you, and Braden lands in this sickly pool of stuff I really don't want to get into. And everyone's like, oh my gosh. I said, Braden, roll me a constitution save. He's like, okay. He rolls like a 5. And I said, okay. I just pull out my watch, and I just start looking. I was like, okay, guys, go ahead. Okay, we got to get this guy out here. Real time, 30 seconds passed. I said, Braden, take 2 points of damage. He's like, what? Take 2 points of damage. I just keep looking at my watch. He's like, okay. They're like, how deep is it? I was like, it's about 15 feet deep. They're like, oh, come on. So we can't just grab him. I was like, nope. Braden, take another 2 points of damage. It's been another 30 seconds. And every 30 seconds for about the span of 3 minutes, I had Braden take 2 points of damage from the failure of his constitution save as he is now poisoned. And the players are like, oh my gosh, that stuff is just vile. But eventually they're able to lower down a rope and haul Braden up the other side. So they keep going, and finally they come to a door. They're like, huh, that's odd. All right, we're going to try it. And I'm like, okay. I roll a dice. They're like, shoot, why didn't we check for traps? I said, who's opening the door? They're like, Sonia is. I was like, okay, Sonia. Take 8 points of poison damage. As you try and open the door, a needle sticks out from the handle and stabs your hand. She's like, ow! Come on, Peter. I was like, hey, these guys booby-trapped it. I'm not the one hurting you. They're the ones who booby-trapped it. She's like, fine. Braden kicked down the door, and Braden's like, yes, please. He goes and he kicks down the door with an incredible athletics roll. I swear, when this guy goes to roll for athletics to break something down, he can't fail. So he said, all right, break down the door. What are we met with? Well, you're met with a small tunnel that takes you up just a little bit, just to get you guys out of all the filth. They're like, oh, thank goodness. And you come up into a small room, about, the size of your average, classroom or something like that. They're like, all right. I explained, there's a couple of guys there, all wearing, dark clothing and stuff like that. And there's the guy you were following. You recognize him. They're like, okay, perception check. What else do we see? And they rolled decently. I said, you also noticed the man from the hall who had told you guys to go looking for Dylan. And they're like, what? I was like, he steps forward and says, you filth, you come here looking to help people, but all you do is just take the stuff away from us. I said, all right, guys, roll initiative. They're like, what? We can't try and talk him out of it? They're like, all right, if you guys really want to try. And they're like, we're going to try to say argument again. I was like, all right, if you want to. And they're like, okay, and they try and it doesn't work. And they're just like, oh, come on. And I'm like, well, they're not backing down. So neither are we. Initiative time. They all roll initiative, and they dispatch the guys in 10 minutes. They weren't meant to be hard. But again, I meant to do this as a social dilemma. Create some sense of consequences for our characters. And the players got that. The players honestly, at the end of the sessions, felt just a little dirty. Just a little like, man, it sucks that we have to do this. It wasn't like they were questioning their motives or anything like that. They honestly were still invested in the cause of defeating Fritzless. But they still felt very much like, this sucks that we have to do this. That we have to harm innocent people for this kind of stuff. And that was basically where I left it. I said, alright, you guys exit the sewers. You gave your report to Admiral Yvonne, who kind of just is very grim about it. He's like, very well. I appreciate your efforts. Hopefully with time, the people of the city will come to forgive us, along with the other townsfolk of this territory. And they're like, yeah, we hope so too. So, what can be taken away from this session? I think it's important with pacing to slow things down. The players have been doing lots of dangerous stuff with fighting and such, and they've had times where they've had to rely on other skills. But it's always been kind of gung-ho. We don't have to worry about planning a ton or what kind of consequences could come out of this action, and most of that stems from my lack of creating consequences for the players. And so this was a chance to slow down, give the players a chance to try some other stuff, and also show them that there's other people. The people are being affected by your actions. Your actions aren't going without any consequences whatsoever. And so now you must face your consequences to an extent. And they're like, alright. And I think at the end everyone was kind of like, this was all kind of cool. The players had a lot of fun afterwards, kind of looking back. They're like, this was kind of fun, kind of cool to see what all is going on behind the scenes of our warfare. So once again, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for keeping up with me. And hopefully you're enjoying the stuff. If you have any comments, please let me know. I love talking to you guys, and I love hearing what you guys have to say. So, like, comment, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. As always, see you next time. Stay cool.